Hello viewers, it's Ultimate Spy Predator here, and welcome to Reviewed number 31. And today I'm going to be reviewing the movie Big Fish.
So this movie was fantastic. It was amazing. I recently saw it, and I hadn't seen it for quite a while. I don't actually remember the last time I saw it, but I recently saw it. I'm starting to do. I'm gonna start doing reviews where I actually see the movie and remember most of it. So Big Fish was a movie that it came out in 2003, and it had a good cast and fairly good script and just one of those really good movies that is and are memorable. It's a fantasy drama movie. It's basically about this father named Edward Bloom who struggles to have a relationship with his son Will Bloom, who had just gotten married to his French wife Josephine, and it's basically at the wedding party, and it's yeah, and then he finds out, and then Will later finds out that his father's dying of cancer. So what happens is that to know his father better, I guess, or to fix the relationship between his father and his father begins telling him the stories of basically his young life, how he met his mother, just in his also just his very interesting life. So it's basically he goes and does some pretty cool stuff. He befriends a giant. He goes to this really odd town that's where everyone's cheerful and everything, and no one wears shoes. And meets a poet, um, who actually is portrayed by Stanley. Wait a minute. No, that I think it's Stanley Yuki, but that's not. But that's Hunger Games. Um, what it was is it's the same guy. If you remember the movie Spy Kids 2, Island of Lost Dreams, it's the guy. It's the adventure guy. It's the guy who basically invents the little animal thingies. I don't actually remember the name of that guy. Can't believe it's in my mind. But basically he's a poet who's just really funny. And so Edward Bloom was actually portrayed by Ewan McGregor in this movie, which is pretty fantastic because he was in Star Wars, the prequel trilogy, which is, in my opinion, only my one of the best. I liked it a lot. If you've seen review number one, you know what I'm talking about. Um, but yeah, so he basically sets out to find a wife, which is how he meets Will's mother. That's basically how it goes. And he goes to the circus. He sees this beautiful woman who is just she looks beautiful, like amazing, and basically uh, the circus guy, the head of the circus, he offers him a free job, and he'll like every month or so he'll give him one detail about her. Eventually, gets all the details about her, and turns out the guy is actually a werewolf, but he's not like all that threatening. Um, and also, it's actually really cool is one of the circus helpers. They listen to him to the circus guy. He's actually the Indian guy or something. Um, he's the guy that is in a lot of these science fiction movies and fantasy movies, like Lord of the Rings. He played like doubles, and he's just done a lot of work. I remember I'm forgetting the name. He's this really small guy. He was also in the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory movie. He played the Oompa Loompas, so you probably know who I'm talking about. So it's just crazy what happens in that part of the movie when he sees a woman and it's just like popcorn everywhere, and like circus is just a circus. What do you expect? So basically, then after that, what is basically I don't want to say something entire part of the movie. So that he meets the wife. Turns out she's already engaged to a guy he met in I think it was the previous time he visited. Um, Oh yeah, but he also meets a giant along the way called Carl, this big giant. Actually, I think the actor himself is actually pretty big too. It's a giant where his head is like this or whatever. It's like that. It's pretty cool actually. Um, when he meets him, he's actually like a lot of hair, and he's like this guy. He's like when he first meets him, he's like, "Go away!" I said, "Go away," and like that. And eventually, he calms down and shaves and goes on an adventure with him, and that's how he meets him. And so for meeting Sandra, who's the girl that he sees in the circus, turns out she rejects him and rejects the marriage proposal because she's already engaged. Then the guy he's engaged to beats him up for like hitting on his girl or whatever, and then she calls it the engagement because he's too violent or whatever. And then it just goes crazy and pretty awesome actually. Um, and fortunately, he's called to keep the Korean War, where he meets two Siamese twins, which are basically conjoined people, like two conjoined siblings, twins usually. No, they are twins. Um, it's become basically pays them to do document stuff for in exchange for becoming celebrities. Um, and he basically meets it is a whole his journey is basically this huge thing. Um, and he also later in the movie after everything goes crazy he meets I think it's Jenny. I think that's the little girl's name. Um, is this little girl that he befriends. She's pretty interesting. And so what happens is that he meets her like when she's middle aged and everything, and like smoking I think or whatever. She's played by Helena Bonham Carter, who if you don't know her, she was in the Harry Potter movies. And she's pretty popular British actress. But in this movie, she plays a grown up version of Jenny. I think that's her name. I'm pretty sure that's her name. And she uses an American accent, which is very unusual because I always expect her to have a British accent, but no, it's American. Just like Ewan McGregor, who was a Scottish actor, he played Obi-Wan a British accent, and then played he played Edward Bloom with a Southern accent, I think it is, or either a Scottish accent or something. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a Southern accent. Um, so it's basically all this is in the flashbacks, and it's just basically Edward Bloom's life about his amazing adventures, his fantastical, amazing adventures, um, and meeting his mother, and it's just amazing. And it's most of it, the early parts of it are narrated by Aaron McGregor, who's amazing in this movie, really, really is. Um, so and eventually the father dies and things go crazy. And actually, early in the movie, a young Edward Bloom actually meets this old witch who, along with other friends, like tells them their death or whatever, and they realize they're gonna die by like that thing or whatever. And so when he meets the witch, she tells him he's gonna die. This is he's gonna die, but he's not afraid of dying or whatever. He's not afraid about that. So it's a really powerful movie. It's one of those really powerful movies, and it's called Big Fish. I mean, every movie has a reason why that's being what's called that, and the reason why it's called Big Fish is because in the beginning of the movie, or at least in the beginning of the flashbacks of the movie, with Will's father, um, he he attempts to catch a big fish, and it actually takes the ring I think his mom gave him or something like that. Um, so it's pretty awesome that actually happened. I mean, overall, it's a really good movie. It's about 13 years old now, so it's been a little bit of time, but it's still it's one of those movies that it's heartwarming. It's amazing. It's beautiful. It's just everything you'd imagine a movie like that to be. Um, and I recently saw it, and so I really enjoyed it. I thought it was really really good. There's actually this really really funny dance scene, where Edward Bloom's in Spectre, the town that he goes to, and so he starts dancing in a circle, and he's with all those people, and I think the actress who played I can't remember it's the movie it's a Parent Trap, and she plays the new uh fiance of one of the girl's dads. That's who I'm talking about. Um, where she's much older. I don't actually remember what if a Parent Trap came out after this movie or before. I don't know, but you get the point. So that was a really really weird scene where they were dancing in a circle and like Edward Bloom was not too happy to see people. He's like, oh, what's going on? This is weird. So but yeah, I mean, also really really weird how Spectre is at a town where no one wears shoes. That was the first thing that Jenny, the little girl, do Edward Bloom's shoes is untie them and put them on like a line thingy for your clothes on or whatever. So yeah, I also kind of like the scene in where it was the Korean War, where everybody was fighting the Korean War, and he was reading a book, and then it's a really cool cool thing. Um, I think my favorite scene in the movie. I mean, I've already said my favorite scene, but like, I mean, that wasn't my favorite scene. That was a really good scene, good moment. But like, my favorite scene is when uh Eric Bloom first meets, or I think this is the second time he first meets Sandra, the girl he's gonna marry, um, aka Will's mom. And this is where he okay because the circus leader told him that she likes daisies, and he finds a pile of daisies, or somehow he gets a whole bunch of daisies, like a field of daisies, and impresses her, and so eventually she marries him. Okay, I think this is the same scene that her ex actually comes by, or no, her fiance, but eventual ex. So yeah, it's a pretty good movie, honestly. One of those movies that it's good to watch again. I mean, I wouldn't really watch it again, but it's a movie it's really well made and has some good acting, good casting. Um, and I really liked it. I liked all the stuff that it had in it. Just in terms of the plot, has a lot of fantasy elements. I love fantasy elements. I just love fantasy in general. Um, so yeah, I mean, it was a good movie. In terms of what it had. Uh, so yeah, I mean, the actors I didn't expect to have it. Like Ewan McGregor, who was a fantastic actor. I loved him so much in Star Wars. He was so awesome. Um, so yeah, that's all I can say for Big Fish. A really good movie. Again, it came out in 2003, so it's pretty old, about 13 years old. Um, but overall, it was a pretty good movie. It had some dark elements and some other cool fantasy elements, like the giant. That was cool. Um, so yeah, I mean, it had some other good moments and just like kind of dangerous moments and some suspense, like when everyone's going through the woods. It's just going barefoot. That was incredible how you could do that. But that being said, it was it was decent. I liked it. It was had some stuff in it that I really liked, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, rating it, I would say um God, I can't say a rating. There's nothing to compare it. It's perfect. It's like some of the movies where I just can't rate it because there's nothing bad about it. Um, I mean, I don't have any cons about it. I don't have any cons. Um, so well, maybe no. I mean, I was thinking the whole rejection thing that was a bit like sad. Uh, but it was good. It was really good, and it's some really good stuff in the movie. I liked it a lot. So yeah, I think that does it for this episode. Um, no rating at all, just plain out 100% perfect rating. 10 out of 10. So yeah, I do have other plans for this. For the show. I actually do plan to branch out. Like I mentioned in the first episode, I am planning to branch out to actual TV shows. I have some in mind I'm gonna review. I'm not probably do a whole bunch of like several seasons of the same show. Um, so look forward to that. I definitely have some plans, and I'm gonna do some TV show reviews. Um, so yeah. Anyway, thank you for watching this review show. Review. Sorry. Thank you for watching this episode of Review. I meant to say that. If you did like it, then please give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to the channel for more of the episodes. Yeah, and I will see you next time for the next episode.